I guess I didn't really notice when it ended, but within 2 months, his separation anxiety is gone.
A little bit of my babysitter, especially on really rainy days when maybe I've been out and I know that the dogs haven't really had their needs met.
Yeah, I feel like it made the world more predictable for her in a way.
So that way I don't actually have to schedule things around when the landscapers are here. I can just keep him busy with the PupPod and
anxiety stuff too. But for my fearful reactive dogs, it's been, I don't know if it's too cliche to say game changer, but it's been really nice.
And I think the PupPod, probably the best $200 I ever spent, because
I'm Eric Itis, co-founder and CEO of PupPod. Our customers constantly tell us that PupPod is a critical tool to help them meet their dog's daily needs for mental stimulation and physical activity. But don't take my word for it. We put this video together so you can hear from our customers directly.
So I started using PupPod. When he was playing with it or engaged with PupPod, I would walk away. At first, it was just like a step away. And then if he looked at me, I would come back. And it took about a week before I was able to walk out of the room, but still in sight. And I guess I didn't really notice when it ended, but within 2 months, his separation anxiety is gone, where I can go wherever in the house, and sometimes he'll come check in on me, but he's not anxiously following me around the house. We're done with the separation elimination. He doesn't need the kennel anymore in the house.
Like that. And the thing that I saw with her was how much it really built her confidence, knowing that first learning and using her brain, and she had a lot of nervous energy. So to be able to focus that, and then also just realizing that if I do this thing happens, treats fall from the sky. And so then I feel like it made the world more predictable for her in a way.
Like using it for when the landscapers are here is a big success for me, because that means that I don't have to directly engage with him every time they're here. The PupPod is enough to, now that he knows exactly how to use it and that it's going to shoot out treats, he stays busy with it the entire time they're here. And so that way I don't actually have to schedule things around when the landscapers are here. I can just keep him busy with the PupPod. And so it actually frees up a big chunk of my day.
I was most elated seeing her interact with the PupPod, knowing how reactive she can be and fearful sometimes. So with I mean, and with separation anxiety stuff too, but for my fearful reactive dogs, it's been, I don't know if it's too cliche to say game changer, but it's been really nice.
Yeah, so I got the PupPod because my trainer recommended it to me. My dog was, when I first got her back from the shelter, she had a lot of behavior issues. She was pretty destructive, tore up a bunch of my stuff. So I really needed something to get her energy out. And I think the PupPod, probably the best $200 I ever spent, because I noticed an immediate difference in her behavior. You know, she wasn't chewing on my stuff anymore.
Kind of the PupPod is a little bit of my babysitter, especially on really rainy days when maybe I've been out and I know that the dogs haven't really had their needs met for the day because it's raining and I've been out. So what I'll do is I'll set the PupPod up downstairs, but I'll put the actual pod upstairs. So then Bindy's getting mental enrichment of the pattern, finding the pod, going downstairs to get the feeder, finding the pod, going downstairs to get the feeder, but then she's also essentially doing stairs. So she's getting her physical work in as well.
Again, any pup parent that is looking for good activities for their dogs, different activities. I mean, even if you're engaged with your dog all day long, you can still use the PupPod for them, just to give them something different to do. Just
people who struggle to get enough enrichment for their dog, enough activities and enough training. And that could be just because they have a very active dog, or maybe because they work really a lot, or maybe they have some limitations in their ability to plan or to get materials for enrichment toys, or just being able to place them at an appropriate time for their dog. But with PupPod, we have like the one device that will do all of it for us. So I think it's really great for anybody with limitations or really high need dog.
the dogs that I think would really benefit are the ones that need more enrichment. Because maybe they don't like to go outside. Maybe they're way too overstimulated to go outside. You know, there's one client I worked with, the dog would just continually just like bark and bark and like go, go, go. And it's like she liked it, but like again, her nervous system was exploding. Exploding. And then some dogs, for example, if they're really fearful, like, you know, it's trash day. You know, the trash trucks are coming and it's a rush hour. So lots of bikes in the bike lane. And, you know, there's, you know, lots of dogs and people, and maybe they're not cool with that. Maybe they've actually bitten a person or a dog before. Maybe they're muzzled or working on it, or maybe they should be muzzled outside. Those are the dogs that should have it, because it's okay not to walk your dog all the time if you're that kind of dog, right?
For dogs who maybe have limited mobility, maybe they are working on some training stuff, and a walk around the block is just way too overwhelming for them. It's not enjoyable for them, or it's not enjoyable for the pet parent. I think PupPod does a good job of, again, bridging that gap and allowing for mental stimulation, allowing your dog to think about something, do something, instead of just kind of us being like passively around.
I can't think of any dog or kind of dog who wouldn't benefit from it. So I don't know, like a dog who can't swallow with a feeding tube, like really, I think every dog would benefit from it.
Pretty much any dog, I think, could benefit from it, because any dog can benefit from different forms of enrichment.